Hey, Natalini, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it, Natalini. And oftentimes, Natalini, I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become an anthem for me. So, firstly, Natalini, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now, right here, because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, Natalini, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Natalini, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. Oh boy, what a lovely moment that day was, a special one at that. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Italian that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your philosophies, your insight, how you're offering your solutions to impact your work is having. These stuffs are beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Natalini is doing, not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Natalini. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Lisha could do about it. Thank you so much.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. What a beautiful story about the mango tree. I find it very beautiful and very symbolic. You know, it's
Mm,
loaded with meaning and message, and I will definitely learn from it. So thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for
beautiful.
inviting me and having me on your show.
Awesome, Natalie. Thank you so very much. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Natalie, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge, and darkness means ignorance. I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the amazing listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Natalie on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, Natalie, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Natalie, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Natalie got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Natalie, over to you.
Thank you. Well, mindful of that it's a short episode, I will keep it very brief with regards to introductions because one story can be so long and so interesting as well. But um, I am currently uh, kind of at the end of a very important transition in my life and sort of entering this new phase of my being, so to speak. I used to be CEO of a very reputable, very high level nonprofit organization called the Global Citizen Forum. Back then, I was called Telémka. and I was struggling with quite a lot of personal issues, quite a lot of um, let's say traumatic or toxic sort of tendencies, I would say. And even though I was able to build and create a very interesting and very significant career, the organization I was running was focused on bridging dialogue with action on topics around various social issues. One of the most important being the refugee crisis and the migration crisis. And so I was hosting and creating this basically platform where leaders, global heads of states, global leaders, celebrities, private sector leaders would come together and debate and convene on how can we make this world a better place. After doing this for about 10 years, I reached a point where I started realizing that there was something off with the way I am. There was something off with the way I was creating, the way I was showing up in the world. I was experiencing a lot of toxicity, a lot of abuse in my life, a lot of unhealthy sort of behaviors. I started having addictive patterns myself. And so this is when I decided to basically get off the train, get off the train and sit still for a little bit until I start understanding why was I behaving the way I was behaving, why was I allowing things that were not good for me into my life, and basically understand the root of all of these rather unhealthy behaviors. And so for the past couple of years, I've been really taking care of myself, healing, studying, and understanding myself as a woman, as a human being, and all the sort of traumas that I carry as an individual, and really going all the way at the depth and the root of these traumas, and facing all my demons. And what happens is that when I started doing that, I really started getting in touch with my true self. And this is why I decided to change my name. I changed my name from Telémka to Natalini. I started experiencing the world in a much more colorful, much more joyful, much more creative way. I got in touch with my creativity. Now I am creating um, a lot of shows, live performances, in entertainment, immersive experiences. I'm curating and hosting conversations myself. I'm surrounded by very artistic and interesting people. And I'm doing things that really, really give me joy and sense of fulfillment because they are aligned with my true nature and my true desires and inspirations in this moment right now. So that's, I guess, the maybe not so short, but the shortest story I could give.
Amazing. And thank you so very much for sharing that. I found that very profound, inspiring, and high opening. You used this phrase, you said, facing your demons. And that's a profound statement. Why? Because there are a lot of people who are doing the total opposite. Instead of facing their demons, they are fearing their demons. So when people like that get to listen to you speak now, they will find you very, very inspiring and will want to learn more from you. And that's amazing. And thank you so very much for going after fulfillment and purpose. And you mentioned how you got clarity. I love that. So I'm still a bit curious, okay? And I've got some questions here. Are you ready for me? Oh,
Yes, let's do it.
okay. So let us focus on, living authentic. What are the steps to living an authentic life?
I get this question a lot, and I I really don't think that there is a formula. I don't think that there is like step one, two, three, four, five. There is one step. There is only one step to living an authentic life. And that one step is to decide to live an authentic life. And once you decide to do that and you get on and you turn this into your North Star, you turn this into your absolute how can I say, like a compass in in everything that you do, in every decision that you make, in every choice that you make about yourself, your life, and the people around you, it becomes authentic. There is no way around it, because now this is the filter. And how you get there, however, I think this is a very unique experience, and it's unique to every person and every situation. I really am so inspired by people in general, and I think every single person is just loaded with so much creativity and uniqueness and gifts and wonder, you know. So every person's story is different, every person's pain is different, every person's remedy is different, but one thing we share in common, one thing, and that's the freedom to decide and the freedom to choose the life we want to live. And once we take that step, I believe and I experience that life really supports us. Every single power there is outside of us will conspire with us so that we can arrive at the place where we are authentic, we're genuine, we're real, we're true, we are exactly as, you know, the universe or God or whatever you want to call it wants us to be. So the step is only one. You just need to make that decision.
Exactly. And you said it all. Function the way God wants us to be. And we live in a society where we're being taught to want to be like others. The trainers, they condition us to want to be like others. I got that. Okay, so let us look at this from this feminine angle. What does it mean to lead in a feminine way?
Um, You know, it's a very interesting question because women are obviously more and more stepping into their power and are starting to take positions of leadership and executive power and so on. And there is I find that there is a bit of a missed opportunity with that because the feminine way of leading and the feminine way of building and creating and bringing life and things to this world is very particular. It's not the same as the masculine way. And the problem is that the masculine way is sort of the norm nowadays, and not anymore. We're starting to kind of break that pattern. But I see so many women go into position of really high power, like prime ministers, presidents, CEOs, and chairmen, and so on and so forth. But they're forced to behave in a way that is the norm, which is rather the more masculine way. And if we step into our feminine energy, our feminine power, we can create just as much, or I don't think there is a competition. Each way has its beautiful benefits and advantages. We can create just as much. It just would come in a different way. And what I mean by that is basically the feminine energy is an energy of stillness. You know, we are open and ready to receive. We are not out there chasing. We're not linear. We are circular. We are in a place of stillness, and we magnetize things towards us. But also we are chaotic. You know, the feminine is not necessarily structured. We thrive in chaos. But what chaos gives us is gives us this opportunity to work with everything there is in the universe. So now I'm not sticking to a, let's say, a particular plan which limits me to a certain array, a certain number of opportunities or possibilities. I'm open to the entire spectrum of possibilities that exist in the ether, so to speak. And so the feminine moves in a very subtle, very intuitive way. We lead with intuition. We make decisions from our heart. We don't make decisions necessarily so much from our intellectual capacity. We're very intuitive, but also we're very kind and loving and nurturing. I mean, the mother energy is in us, no matter if you're an actual mother or not. We carry that. We carry the need to nurture, the deep need for service, the deep need to take care of the people around us, to make sure that everyone is all right. Whenever we make a decision, we want to make sure that nobody suffers from it, nobody's harmed by it. So there is like a combination of qualities that the feminine leadership carries that I've been implementing very much so in my career and in my life, and they have really served me in amazing ways. And so I hope to be an advocate for that.
Beautiful. Women are amazing people, I tell you. Okay, so we have a few more questions to go. All right. So, can you share with us maybe, no, before we get there, you know, in the past, I was betrayed by someone. All right. And this person was someone whom I really, really was into, like my ex-girlfriend. All right. And she betrayed me. It was so tough on me to the point where it almost broke me apart. All right. But you see, because of my relationship with God, it was so, so, so easy for me to forgive her. And I moved on. Now, let's say we've got some listeners now who's got the same question. Hey, Natalini, how can I forgive someone who betrayed me in the past? What would your response be? Or someone who betrayed or abused me, or, what would your response be?
That's such a beautiful question, and thank you so much for asking it. I'm actually currently very, very deep into that process of forgiveness. I suffered sexual abuse when I was a little girl, and that led me to being in a lot of abusive relationships with men. And so it's been a very long and very difficult journey for me to arrive to where I am today. And I've been sort of healing from all of this for the past couple of years, and I arrived to a point where I realized that at some point, healing is amazing, but we do get lost in it sometimes, and especially when we have suffered from betrayal or abuse or any sort of way in which we've been hurt, we tend to fall into victimhood, and that's not healthy either. And that was something that was happening for me. I had started identifying with the role of being the victim and being the one that's always hurt and always wronged, and everyone around me is sort of a perpetrator, and I am always the one that is the victim. And something that's really helped me along the way, physically, psychologically, and philosophically as well, is working with sacred plants and plant medicine. And particularly one plant which is called eboga, and it's originally from Gabon and is cultivated and served by a tribe called the Bwiti. And so a month ago, I went to Africa and I sat with the plant of eboga and the Bwiti tribe, and they basically taught me the lesson of forgiveness. And it was a profound experience for me because I tell you, Elijah, I was not ready to forgive. I was not ready to forgive. I was so identified with my abusers and with my story, and it was giving me this sense of validation, and I was angry and everyone was wrong, and like I wanted to talk about it and I wanted to be loud about it, and I wanted people to give me validation for all the terrible experiences that I've been through. And so I wasn't going to just let this go. It had become my agency, it had become my platform. And so what happens with this plant is that it really sort of starts to dissolve your ego. And I feel like what stands between our true heart and forgiveness is the ego. It's the ego that holds on to the grudge and to the anger and to the blame and the judgment and all of that. And so as the ego started falling off and dissolving and kind of loosening its grip over me, the shamans would really start guiding me towards forgiveness. And the path to forgiveness really is compassion. And compassion comes from understanding the person that hurt you. There is one very simple sort of quote: hurt people hurt people. Now, for someone to be hurtful towards you, it's because they're hurt themselves. It's because somebody hurt them and they're operating from a place of deep wounding, from a place of deep lack, from a place of not enough self-love. And that's why they end up being hurtful. But it's not because they want to hurt you. It's because that they are hurt that they end up hurting you. And so once we start to understand that there is pain in the person that hurt us, as well. And once we start being able to find that compassion for those who betray us or hurt us or whatever, we are able to melt down the ego and drop into our hearts and find the space where we forgive. And another very, very important lesson that I learned is that forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. Forgiveness is a choice. It's a decision we make. And forgiveness is a choice we make every day of our lives. As long as that story haunts you, every time it comes to you and starts producing pain for you, you need to consciously make that decision. Instead of being in pain and instead of being in anger and being in a place of blame, take all that energy and move it, whatever it costs, whatever effort it takes, move it to a place of compassion and forgiveness. Understand why they did what they did and forgive. This was the lesson of the Bwiti tribe and the shamans I sat with. And this is the lesson I'm teaching myself right now. I'm not there yet. There are days where I fall into the judgment and the blame, and it's really hard. But now I'm aware of that, and I'm able, once it comes up into my space, I'm able to take it and then bring it over to the other side, the side of the light, as you said, the side of the knowledge, the side of the heart, where I can remember why this person hurt me. They hurt me because they're hurt, and find that compassion and find that forgiveness, and do this over and over and over again until forgiveness becomes the natural choice and blame and judgment becomes the unnatural choice.
Profound words. I love that. You're such a good explainer. I've got to clap for you. That's a beautiful
Mhm.
word. And that plant sounds like
Thank
an
you.
interesting plant. What's the name of the plant again?
Iboga,
Iboga.
Iboga. Yes.
Okay. And it's available in where? Africa? You mentioned Gabon.
It's originally from Gabon.
Oh,
It's available in different locations around the
no.
world. It's a very, very powerful plant. I would really, really strongly advise your audience and yourself, before deciding to sit with the plant, to be sure that it's being served by someone that understands it, that's worked with
Understand.
it for years. Usually, this is the Bwiti tribe shamans. So I really recommend
Okay.
approaching it with a lot of attention and care, because it's very powerful.
Herbs are beautiful. They're very, very helpful. Okay, so to bring this to an end, Natalini, it's been a wonderful moment with you on the show. Very, very insightful words so far. So, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about everything we've discussed, or even ask questions, how can that be possible?
Thank you, Elisha. Thank you so much for hosting these beautiful conversations. And it's so helpful and so needed. And I'm so grateful to be able to share with your audience. If I would give one, I don't know, one general thought or general advice, I guess it would be to always choose ourselves first. It's in, I guess, in the sense of not sacrificing ourselves beyond our limits, not hurting ourselves for other people, not losing ourselves in other people, not losing our true identity and true power and true gifts, because we are all so powerful and so beautiful and so gifted. And the universe really wants us to be that. It really wants us to shine with our own light. And I know it feels terrifying for many of us, and I've been there, but I promise, once we choose to walk the path of freedom, the path of authenticity, life will guide us. It will take us through fire, but on the other side of that, we will always find the most beautiful thing, which is connection to ourselves.
Beautiful.
And for those of you who want to get in touch with me or follow me or learn more, I'm available on Instagram. My profile is just Natalini. And I'm also currently launching a new platform for conversations where I bring very inspiring and interesting people to talk about freedom, to talk about healing, to talk about art, creativity, philosophy, and every sort of contemplation we can engage ourselves with. The platform is called Freedom Beach, and you can follow us on Instagram at My Freedom Beach.
Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, Natalini. Thank you so very much for coming, and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisha. It was a pleasure.